what's going on, everybody? Almost in full color is back, and we're talking about Destiny 2. I know we keep talking about this, but I don't see it stopping in the near future. Today, I've brought in two of the finest Guardians this galaxy has. Terry, B, how you all doing this evening?
Hi.
What's up?
So we got a lot to talk about here in the state of Destiny. Dawning, well, I really don't want to talk about the dawning a whole lot, but we're
How
in...
dare you?
The dawning came and it went, and for me it was uneventful. But this current season, I feel like I'm uncertain of the word to utilize, but last season we had Shadowkeep and Season of the Undying, so we had a lot more content, mainly because we got a season and a DLC pack all in one, and now we're in Season of Dawn, and I think a lot of people are kind of upset maybe or bored with the current content drops. Or you think they're right in being bored with it, or this should have been expected given this was a season?
Horrible delivery. I don't know. I mean, I didn't expect much. As soon as they broke away from Activision, everybody kind of expected a lot. I mean, I kind of did at one point in time, but now I'm like, who cares? But it is going to end up being a problem eventually, though.
Well, me personally, I'm a little burnt out. I'm not really quite sure. Can't put a finger on it, but just to touch on it, the dawning did put a sour taste in my mouth. I just didn't see any incentive to do any cookies or any of that stuff, and so that kind of burnt me out. And then just going forward, I'm a big fan of the Saint 14 stuff, but other than that, I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it, but I guess I am just waiting for something else to pop off, at least story-wise, that would keep me invested. The Infinite Forest, I didn't get a chance to partake in, but I heard it was cool.
I'm about to say, I just followed the whole thing of everybody sitting in the, what was it, at the end of the maze, taking pictures. People log in, take a picture, log out, take a picture. Like that. Like, I kind of followed the whole puzzle for it, but outside of that, I didn't really care, and I never really went and got the exotic yet. But it was dope to see them put on a community event, though. I'll give them that. That was a very interesting community driven thing, though.
Now, before we jump into that, I like to beat a dead horse that I just love to continue to beat. The eververse, the lovely eververse. Please, would anyone like to beat this dead horse with me?
I'm good. I think the eververse is the eververse, and I think we should kind of just leave it at that. I have nothing else more to say about it.
The eververse
I have nothing
is
else.
getting egregious.
Oh, it's getting terrible.
Out of control.
I have nothing else more to say.
Talk about it.
There's nothing more to say. It's out of control. They're pumping too much of the stuff into it, and like I would understand if it's like, yo, you do the raid, and then one of your guardians in the cutscene that finishes it off, he does one of those crazy new tricks or something like that. You know what I'm saying? One of the hologram things. And then that's one of the ways that you get it. But there's nothing like that in the game. It's like, if you want that cool looking stuff, pay us real dollars. And on top of that, it's crazy expensive for the items. So it's like, I wanted some of the stuff to be honest, but I can't justify paying $10 for an emote. What? You know what I mean?
You pay $20 for every Fortnite skin. Come on now.
I don't play Fortnite for that.
Don't let him fool you.
Crazy.
He is an avid Fortnite player.
I literally never have played that game a day in my life.
He is lying to you. Avid Fortnite player.
I actually was hoping that the season pass had something like a token to where you could get like a premier item.
That's too Fortnite-ish. I'm good. I want it in the game.
But I just was hoping that $10 you put towards the season pass, would come back to you in some way, shape, or form. Even if it was like, you get X amount of silver for each. If it was just straight rip off of the Fortnite Battle Pass,
you're not getting it. None of this stuff means anything because once you look at it, you're like, oh, you real dollars for that. It's not cool just to have stuff if it doesn't tie in. Like, even if they gave you a token, it'd still be like, oh, you got that token because you paid for the season pass and you can buy something cool. But if it's tied into the game, like every time you go through a story, you see a new character do something cool that's an emote or something like that. It's real easy to tie this stuff in. They just choose not to because it's easier and simpler to oh, go here and pay us real money. And I get it. It's an independent, you know what I'm saying? They got to take care of their baby, but how far along do they say like we need to stop taking all these profits and put some of them in the game? If they had some of them that were exclusive like that, this wouldn't be a problem. Exclusive as in like in game, and then there were other ones that you could also purchase that were cool looking, possibly even cooler.
Oh yeah, I'm still holding out hope that in some way, shape, or form, one of these season passes lets you get a few of them. Because I'm not going to front. Some of them ornaments are hard. Like
Yeah.
I think one night you and me sat there and looked at a bunch of them, and they got a lot of tight ones, and a lot of the emotes are cool too. But you said $10 for an emote. I don't. I can't do that.
I can't. I cannot. I refuse. And I want that uppercut so bad, but not for $10.
That's it for the beating of this dead horse. The horse is dead. We move on. So we saw people get pissed, and I want to kind of make a direct comparison and see how you both feel about either or. We got the Devil's Ruin, which is to date, I'm guessing, the easiest exotic to ever get. It probably took all of 10 minutes?
Half
hour to get the Devil's Ruin. Was not difficult in the slightest. You just went through the motions and you got it. Whereas the Bastion was this just ridiculous community event. People streamed for 20 plus hours trying to figure out this puzzle. Whole community submitting their findings from what they got and made this ridiculous ass maze. And the people figured it out. And it was this everyone kind of got involved type deal. And we all reaped the benefits from a group effort. However, people were pissed about the Devil's Ruin because they said it wasn't content, it wasn't, people didn't really enjoy it. But then on the other hand, you have this ridiculous ass puzzle that took just time upon time. Which of these two did you prefer in terms of the acquiring of it?
Bastion, even though it fucking glitched on me. That's all I have to say about that. And the thing glitched on me.
The anger.
Yeah. Definitely not happy about that. The Bastion was cool. I'd rather they do that again. And you got the whole community effort into it. Like you had an entire, everybody was up doing this. Like everybody was taking pictures. Everybody was checking it out. Everybody was doing the maze. And it was dope to see the ending part of it. Now a lot of people were saying oh, this was worthless. It didn't really do much. We don't really care. A lot of people were just saying that, but I don't know. I thought it was cool. I really enjoyed the whole aspect of it.
I didn't partake in the Bastion. I'm actually a little bit pissed at myself that I didn't. I just didn't have the time. But it kind of reminds me of some of the older things that they did in Destiny. I remember doing that crazy ass puzzle in the first Destiny at I forget to get the Outbreak perfected or the Outbreak Prime at that time, and it kind of reminds me of that. But at the same time, if this was paid for by the eververse and stuff like that, just like that other what were those other guns, the heavy sniper rifle,
the Whisper.
Yeah, the Whisper. If it was paid for by that stuff in the eververse, it's like, damn, they really do know how to make a secret community event puzzle. But it was like one of those things where it's like you had to be there, and it's like I wasn't there, so I'm not a fan. But if I had to,
I really like both of them, actually, to be honest. I love the Devil's Room because I got on one day and I was like, yo, how you get this? And everybody's like, oh, just take 15, 20 minutes. You'll have it in no time. And then I got it. And then I felt like I was able to really enjoy the gun at that point. The Bastion was real fun to do, but after I got it, I was like, man, I spent, 2 hours hunting this gun down. I finally got it. Like, I'll play with the gun for a second, but then I got to dip. So I like the Devil's Ruin off of, I actually used that gun way more than I used the Bastion off jump. And I was able to really, really enjoy the gun more than I did the Bastion. But I like the event for the Bastion. I'm in like a weird middle space with this.
You can't just play defense the whole time.
Sometimes I like a little bit of both. I don't know. But you touched on the fear of missing out aspect that Destiny has had now that they've taken the corridors of time out. So now it was, if you didn't get the lures, if you didn't get all of the emblems you can get out of there, tough luck.
Gone.
I guess, how do you feel about them taking out content at, I guess, whenever they plan on taking it out? I really haven't noticed a pattern. Some said it's going to leave when the season ends. All that stuff is gone. something said is they're gonna do like the whatever content, like if it's Gambit Prime that's up, or what was it, the Reckoning? Is the Reckoning still around? I don't know. I don't play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if it's like, oh, okay, we take out the Reckoning because that's like the oldest content, and pretty much the oldest thing in the book just gets shelved until the next oldest thing is up. I don't know how they plan on doing it, but just in terms of the fear of missing out aspect, how do you feel about them pulling content?
I'll be okay with it. If nobody's playing it, what's the point of keeping it around? I mean, that sounds pretty dumb to say, but I guess, I don't know, a lot of things people just aren't playing a lot anymore. I mean, people are still complaining about the, what's that called, Gambit, but they still haven't fixed that. I don't think they'll ever take anything out, but it would be nice if they would. I mean, why not? What's the worst that can happen?
Your fan base is pissed.
Yeah, the game's
or
free.
yeah,
Their fan base
unintended result occurs.
Their fan base is already pissed. Nothing's changed.
I don't think they're pissed. I think they're irate. Anyway,
potato.
In my opinion, first of all, I don't fear mad that I missed out because I want a gun. I don't care so much for the emblems because they don't do anything. Like if they had some Call of Duty aspect and some of them moved and like you had to beat, it was one of those like you got the laser shooting through the skull because you guys participated in the laser shootout weekend. I was on that weekend, literally didn't play the Crucible, so I didn't get that. I didn't get it. So I'm not a fear of missing out. Like I know that this stuff happens in Destiny because this is the way that the game works. And those things are cool, but it doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. But I do wish that I had that exotic. That does mean something to me. Other than that, I don't particularly care, but I do wish that I got to go into the Infinite Forest at least a couple of times to try it out. What was the other? Was there another part to that question? It was pretty long.
That was pretty much it. But now we get to the nitty gritty, the real reason why I called you here today. Let's talk about the Crucible meta.
Oh my god.
Let's talk about how Iron Banner royally gave me a migraine the other day. And I guess I'm gonna walk back something I had told to Terry. I hate skill-based matchmaking.
Now you hate skill-based matchmaking.
Oh my god, Iron Banner was so just frustratingly annoying the other day, and it was like, why are there so many mind benders and Aaron Tills just all over the damn place? It's slide shot. Oh, I was one of those people.
Yeah,
I was one of those people.
Oh man, I was shot down.
I have all of those guns.
God, it was so just frustratingly annoying. I just don't know what. Well, first of all, I mean, how do you feel about the meta? You may love the meta. I don't know. How do you feel about the current meta of Mindbender, Aaron Till?
I mean, I just farmed for it the other weekend 16 times straight, and then I got pretty much. I have a rangefinder, slide shot, and another. I don't know what the perk is, but it's something crazy. Oh, opening shot. And then I have another one with opening shot, another rangefinder, something else. But then I also have the pinnacle version. And then for the air until I have one with backup plan, snapshot, and range. So screw you guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I also, you know what I mean? I got the Randies. I play with the Mida multi-tool, so scout rifles are pretty beast right now. But Randies, sometimes I lose to that. I don't have a problem with anything because you overcome and adapt.
Yeah, the Bastion was pretty good at shutting down a lot of stuff. Just some stuff is just frustrating to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
In which I do still feel skill-based matchmaking helps a lot of people, but it also everything's just super sweats all the time. It's all the time. It is not even we got a few matches of non-sweats. I did okay, but it was
Are you talking about the night it was me, you, and Zoe playing
on Iron Banner? No. This was a day I was playing by myself because I was just getting footage, and I was like, well, let me just try to get footage, and it was just the worst experience of all time. And I should have been recording that night. That night I should have been recording, but I wasn't, and I was like, well, let me get on, just get some footage, and boy, did the Iron Banner really give me a rude headache. And I just was like, I hate this meta. I hate this skill-based matchmaking. They need to do something right now.
What would you prefer?
Skill-based matchmaking stays in competitive.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It stays in competitive. Leave
connection
connection-based.
I'm saying about the meta. Like, what would you prefer in terms of weapons?
I am highly uncertain, to be honest with you. It's I normally don't like seeing things get nerfed, but at the same time, like, people hit me with that mind bender from like the 50-yard line.
It's got rangefinder on it, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
you should have got one.
I should have got one. You're right, but it's just like the range on that thing, and then the air intel you can get mapped from quite the distance as well. One of those things. So
it's got a real tight pattern.
I don't know if the special ammo needs to be nerfed. Like I said, you don't really like to see stuff get nerfed. You kind of want to see some other stuff get brought up. But then if they bring up like hand cannons and Luna's house, just gonna ruin my life again.
It already is. I was getting worked on by it in the Crucible the other day, but I think they just need to bring exotics. Like I don't use exotics at all.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like exotics are you can have a nice little loadout without it. You know, Mountaintop Recluse was pretty much rampant then. Now it's like, damn, I don't even know I guess what Randy's Mindbender. I mean,
that's what I was using.
It's nuts how you don't even an exotic means nothing now. Like, you know, I can run up on you with a Crimson and regret ever putting it on. I don't know what to do about them. I don't know if, you know, maybe just body shot, like some weapons need to be a little more forgiving in terms of just, you know, not getting a crit or what. But I really would like to see a shift in meta, given that the talk of Trials coming back next season and Saint 14 supposedly taking over Trials is the talk of the town. Yeah, I just don't want to deal with this meta in Trials. I would love to go back and play it, but not if it's like this.
Man, I'll bring that sniper up, boy.
They have a lot to fix before they bring back Trials. That's if it even comes. Crap going on with it right now.
Well, they got what 40 some odd days before this season ends, and
I'm sure they have something in store, at least for the new season. If they're bringing Trials back, they're probably shifted a little bit with like I heard that they're trying to buff auto rifles, but maybe that's what they implemented today. I don't know.
Supposed to be the season of reinforced PvP. That was the very first thing that they ever said when they first started the season. They're like, this is our revamped look on PvP. They haven't touched it all season.
This season, you mean?
Yeah,
for the dawning?
Yeah, this season was supposed to be it. They're supposed to revamp PvP and everything. Like, they came out and said it. Like, that's what they're going to do. And they have not touched it.
Well, I imagine they'll probably have to, if Trials is to come back next season, they'll probably have to do something as a test run before the season ends, I imagine. When that could happen, I don't know. I mean, patches went out today, so...
And it broke the game.
So, yeah, I'm highly uncertain. But from what some of the weapons were looking like, they actually did a little bit better.
I'm still going to play, and I'm still going to try. We'll see how it works out. I mean, I don't have a problem with the meta. I just, again, you find out what works for you, and then, you know, do what you can. I'm just trying to stay in my lane. If I'm playing with a scout, I'll stay back, and if somebody comes up on me, you know, hit them with the bender.
What a great weapon. Never farmed for it, but I've played against it, and it's fun.
Do you have an air intel? What was y'all doing when the menagerie was popping? What guns were y'all getting?
Hand cannon? All about that hand cannon.
The all-stringer, yeah.
What did you farm for?
I think I was farming for a Beloved, but never got what I was looking for.
Wow, I got a couple of them.
Yeah, I was looking for a Beloved as well, but I don't think I ever got.
I got snapshot sights.
So, closing thoughts. This current season, scale of 1 to 10, where are you at with it?
That's all I have to say, but I don't know. It's an okay season. I mean, it's not the greatest. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, we're having an amazing time here. They definitely need to fix a lot of things. Whether they do fix those things, probably the question that everybody's probably going to have at the moment. So here's hoping. I can actually give you, I think it's between a 6 and a 7. Like, overall, the story was, I really appreciated the Saint 14, like the whole little arc he had. I thought that was pretty goddamn cool. He got to you know what I mean? He met Osiris and all that stuff. It's like, damn, they're both back. I didn't realize, so I was pretty cool with that. I just wish that there was more.
Yeah, I'm about the same. The symmetry was dope. I've always felt that their exotics are great conceptually. So the symmetry is like dope conceptually. If you get X amount of headshots, you can change up the firing. The firing. The firing. You change the firing. That's Devil's Ruin, same deal. You know, you can take it from sidearm to laser. So I always like the exotic conceptually. So, and like you said, the lore is pretty all right. I hope they flesh that out a little bit more, just to like have some people understand why you could get Saint 14 but not Cade back. But they'll probably just leave that to people to read the grimoire. I don't know. But lastly, I'm just hoping that a battle royale comes out in this, and we have like a 100-man battle royale.
Yo,
Okay.
it'd be dope if they had it so that you like spawned in random spots, or however you want to say the battle royale thing, and then they had different guns in different positions, so you had to run there first and get it. Now, and before that, you just have your ability to try and kill each other.
You're okay there, Keith? You wishing for a battle royale?
I think that'd be
Destiny
awesome.
battle royale would be interesting to say the least if they did it.
I don't know what to say to this. This has gone out of hand very fast.
But ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for this one. Don't worry, another Destiny video will pop up at some point in the near future after the new season pops. But in the meantime, between time, y'all know what it is. I want y'all to be safe, be easy. Hope everybody's in good health.